So I woke up this morning and found out that I've belonged to a terrorist organization for over 40 years. I was such a good terrorist, I didn't even know it. 20 years as a law enforcement officer, and I was still part of a terrorist organization. When's the President of the United States finally going to arrest people in charge down in California for treason? It's interesting how many people talk about, I'm leaving California, I'm getting out of California, all these places where they are enacting these incredibly oppressive laws, and the place is falling apart on top of it. You know, if you look at the shootings in Chicago, the murders, constant Chicagos, and nobody's doing anything about it, run by liberal Democrats, they want that. Got the strongest gun control laws in the country, more murders than anywhere else. All the other big cities with all the murderers in there. It's sickening. You know, I used to tell people all the time when I was a policeman, why is it that people can't live in a poor neighborhood and still have a good life? Why is it that they have to be burdened with criminals and losers? It's not right. Where did we start holding everybody's hands and caring so much about everybody when what we need to do is care about morally good people who don't do anything wrong, care about other people, work hard? But now we care about people like murderers, serial rapists, people that are in prison for the rest of their life, will never let them out. And we're feeding and housing those people while good people just can't get by, and we don't have enough money to help them. How does that make any sense? What's happening in California is treason. You know, there's over 100 million gun owners, they say. Why don't we come together? Why don't we just stop arguing and come together and say, hey, we recognize that guns are freedom. You know what's interesting? If you read into the documents, which I don't know if anybody really has, you know, this silly thing called the Constitution, or the amendments to the Constitution, or the Bill of Rights, or the, you know, all those things, all the comments written by people who gave up everything to fight a tyrannical government who was trying to control them when they lived on another continent. You know, committed them their lives, their fortunes, and above all else, lives and fortunes, their sacred honor. Does anybody have that anymore? I wonder, does anybody in the government even think like that anymore? Do you know that the initial people who founded the country sacrificed? Some of them were killed, family members killed, some of them lost their fortunes. They wrote on that document saying, hey, we are seemingly treasonous to a tyrannical government because we're forming a new nation. If you read those documents, it says that Americans, when they see that their government is usurping the Constitution of the United States, it is their duty as American citizens to change the government. Do you know that? Have you read any of those documents? That's pretty important. You know, now we're talking about gun confiscation. First time in this country. Yeah, gun buyback. Mandatory buyback is gun confiscation. That's what we're talking about, gun confiscation. Do you know that's when the line was drawn for the United States of America with Britain, when they decided, well, we're going to take your guns? Did you know that? So when people say, listen, I'm not going to give guns back, you know what I say? I'm not going to give guns back. Why would I give guns back? I've owned guns since I was about 7 years old. I've shot my whole life. I love shooting guns. I counted on them for protection. I carried them for 20 years, protecting people. I know how important firearms are to American freedoms. I'm not going to give any guns to anybody. You can't force me to do that. And American citizens aren't going to let you take their guns back. But it's not because they don't love America. It's because they're Americans and they love America. And they see it as their duty to stand up when the government is stepping on them. The problem in the country isn't a gun problem. The problem in the country isn't an alcohol or drug problem. The problem in the country is a morality problem. You know, if you read all the documents and you look at all the buildings in Washington, D.C., you're going to see a three-letter word there. It's God. God was part of the founding of this nation. And this nation is a great thing. It started an incredibly great thing. Written documents off of biblical principles. Government can't fix morality. They try, hate crimes. You can't make people stop hating because you make it against the law. And I myself, I would rather know the people that hate me. I want people to talk mean to me or cruel to me if they hate me for being white, or hate me for being a man, or hate me for being a human. I want to know who the enemy is. There's too many things that are screwed up. But there's a whole lot of American citizens that are getting fed up. Read the documents, understand them, and deal in the truth. I hope you enjoy your coffee this morning. I sure am.